Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, the fall-off has begun for the god of the game, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Very powerful character. Immediately within one day, he got a very weird reputation on Dokkan Twitter. Very baffling. At Dokkan Twitter lately, they will pick a character that they are just like, like this Gohan right here. There's nothing really super out of the ordinary with this Gohan. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he was just a good unit. He wasn't, like, super elite. He wasn't ass. We've seen so many characters who are absolute dog shit characters. This Gohan was just, he was just good. That's it. He was just good. Not great, not bad. He was just good. And that, for Dokkan Twitter, baiting Dokkan Twitter, that was not enough. You need to be, what Dokkan Twitter wants characters to be, is a character that is mostly bad, right? A character that's usually terrible, like, almost all the time. But then, things can break a perfect way, and then the character can be super crazy, right? Look at a character like Super Trunks right here. This is a good example of this. This is a character who is absolutely horrible 99% of the time, but then that 1%, he's utterly insane, right? Where he had the Ghost Usher active, he could do really good damage, he was very strong once you would transform into him. This is what Dokkan Twitter wants from the characters. They want characters that could be completely fodder. Some of the reason, too, is a lot of Dokkan Twitter, I mean, I tend to not really touch the topic too much these days. I mean, we've done it so much, arguing in circles forever. Private server, right? Like, a lot of these players kind of just, like, they're not really, like playing the actual game, like the actual process of playing the game. They're just kind of like, get the unit, completely max out instantly, and then kind of like, create like bait tweets about it. Like, that's kind of like the big thing, right? And for whatever reason, this guy ended up being caught in that circle. It's like, for the last 6 months, every day, I would see at least one tweet about this guy. Every day. Which is so crazy to me, because it's like, I don't know what exactly it is about this guy besides the fact that he's not dog shit that, like, had people, like, so, like, because, like, Goku and Frieza, you could load in turn 1 and Frieza takes 1,000,000 damage, right? Like, Evolution Blue Vegeta could do, additional normal, additional normal, additional normal, additional normal, like, actually just do 10 normals in a row and look like dog shit. Gohan didn't really have that, but he also didn't have, like, by the same token, Goku and Frieza, you could get to turn 4, and this Goku is a defensive juggernaut, capable of tanking a lot of the hardest bosses in the game. If things broke right and you got good RNG, this guy could tank a lot of festival bosses at the end, right? So, like, Goku had, like, a lot of high potential. And, of course, it's the same thing with Evolution Blue Vegeta, right? Even though you could do, right here, additional normal, additional normal, additional normal, you could also do super guarantee, additional super, additional super, additional super, additional super. So it's just like, people tend to be very favorable towards these characters that, like, just like have these really high ceilings, but, like, have huge glaring flaws. I don't really think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is like that. In some instances, he can take normals, but he's very clearly designed for kind of like the current fights, right? Which is, he's quite strong turn 1. You kind of have to be very goofy in order for him to be taking real damage on turn 1 outside of this event. This new event, yeah, he can. But you kind of have to be very goofy for him to take a lot of damage right away, right? And then he's set up to where then turn 2, you have the Dragon Fist and you end the fight. Like, that's kind of like the point of the character, right? You get to turn 2, and that Dragon Fist will end the fight. He doesn't have, like, the highest tippity-top, like, complete peak defensive ability, right? I mean, with only 50% damage reduction. I mean, even though he's guarding with 50% damage reduction, you would need more than that. And, some areas where people could see him take damage, he's not really getting defense right there. He's not getting defense right there, right? Which, kind of further leads into it. So, I did my tier list yesterday. I had him at 3. I felt like 3 was a fair spot for him. This was actually, truthfully, a very bad time to do like this. Like, I think that, like, this tier list at this exact moment in time wasn't the best idea. Like, it's just, okay. But here's the thing. Like, I want to be, I like to take my time putting out one of these tier lists. Because I like to make them good. I want to make sure, like, people will always disagree with the tier list. Of course, nothing wrong with that. But I want to make sure that I am confident in my own work, that it could stand up to criticism. So I don't try and like get it out as fast as possible, but I also don't want to be like so late, right? Where it's, you know, I am kind of hurting the channel, right? So I'm going to put this one up, and I did mention down here, right? So I usually only update these when a new unit comes out. I'm not like, all right, every 2 weeks LR tier list or something like that, right? It's like, if I will update the list with like a new character on it, then I'll put one out. But so right now, most of these fights are kind of catered towards Omega Shenron's strengths, and several of the special battle events are like this as well too, right? So if we take a look at where is it? Right here, special battle. Omega gets very easily torn up against Blue Goku and Vegeta, but the rest of these fights he can work very well in, because Omega, the thing with this fight, this Omega, even though we will buff him with Omega's domain, it's still gonna cause this guy to be weaker, because this is a territory boss, right? So he puts his territory up, but your Omega Shenron can overwrite his territory. So even though you are still buffing this Omega, it's not as much damage as he gets from his territory. So like of the three out of the 4 fights, Omega like really is kind of like favorably designed. I don't think Omega's favorably designed for this fight, but I mean you could still beat it pretty easily. But I mean this Goku is able to really piece up Omega Shenron in many situations, right? You can go ahead and get exploded very early. Now at the same time, we do have to understand, because these fights are so difficult turn 1, that does introduce a lot more RNG to it. When the meta is built around red zones, right? Getting to turn 10, red zone turn 10. It's very easy to have your character set up, be perfectly ready to go. Even locking when it occurs, you know, on turn 7 or 8, not really that big of a deal, because you can completely set yourself up to be prepared and ready to go for the locking, you know, if you have that long to set up. But like, you know, this fight right here, you load in turn 1, you're being locked and you're getting hit with AoEs from one of the scariest bosses in the game, right? That introduces so much RNG. So even though a character like, you know, Omega is not really favorably designed for this fight, I mean, a lot of other characters will get exploded in here anyway. Like all these fights, right? Like it's very easy to just take L's. You know what could be an interesting challenge would be the 4 special battle fights. Try and beat all 4 in a row. So it's like okay, like once we beat Goku Black, we just move on, and we got to beat all 4 in a row. And like if we die, we go back to the start. I mean, that would be a brutal challenge if this was like stage 4 instead. But really, I mean, that's the hardest by far. Omega with the turn 1 locking could be really tough. But that would be, like, I think that's a good way that I could kind of instill into people that, remember, all these characters right now are dying. I really am fine putting Blue Goku at 1 here, because just this character's kit really does just play for all content. Just Blue Goku and Vegeta alone were strong enough to handle festival battles as well. But now that Vegeta and Trunks has been introduced, this character and Rose, and I know there's some people, they still get very, like, I mean, sensitive and salty about festivals is a good way to describe it. Because a lot of people say, like, no, it doesn't matter. It's not an event that matters. No one cares about it. It doesn't matter. That's what they say. But the problem with that is, like, Dokkan will release a difficult fight, right? Or a difficult mission, Crota Body Mind mission. And then they will release characters helping players beat that event. That's why I say it matters. Because Dokkan is going to be designing characters around taking the event down, which we've seen for months. The major celebration characters were mostly designed towards festival, with, you know, Kid Goku, a lot of the anniversary LRs, Golden Week hit. Blue Kaioken seems to me like he's more suited for kind of like the special battle type content and, you know, like this new Supreme Magnificent battle. But Hit, you know, and, you know, Tech Kefla are certainly like festival type characters. This Khalifa does kind of more feel like, I don't know. I mean, the Khalifa and Kale, their kit is a little weird, but they could kind of work pretty much everywhere, I guess, really. Unfortunately, though, we can't rock them with Vegeta and Trunks, huh? This is a character That would be real interesting, I think, if they could work with Vegeta and Trunks. But Vegeta and Trunks, unfortunately, are a very limited character. I don't think we could get a team with both of them on it, unfortunately. Yeah, Vegeta and Trunks' categories are just really bad. So I just kind of wanted to do this video here. Just kind of, oh, yeah, but anyway, my point is they're going to keep dropping characters who are kind of like, you know, designed around like helping players clear Festival, helping players clear the Crota Body and Mind mission, right? Like we know this. We know how it works. That's why, like, you know, very whiny people, I guess really I'm just talking about Dokkan Twitter people, but they give me so much, like, you know, talking points for videos, so it works out well. But like, they just keep dropping characters to sign for, so like it matters until like it doesn't, right? Like it's just kind of the thing. This guy is also mega elite in Festival as well. Like these active skills that these guys have, like the Fusion Zamasu active skill and the Father Son Gallic Gun that these guys have, it just is so crazy once you get super deep into that event, right? So I don't know, I just wanted to kind of like talk about a video here about, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta not being #1 anymore. I really don't have a problem with any of this list. Some people were talking about like EJL UI Goku, and like, yeah, he is effective, but I mean, listen, yeah, like he's good, but getting him above like the 10th anniversary fusions, like, nah, man, I can't. We got the 7th anniversary fusions are obviously very good, and then these 5, they do feel a step ahead. Now, based upon how this event goes, oh, not this one. Yeah, let's clear this right here. Looks like we're not getting new stages this week. We're going to be getting new stages probably next week. Probably somewhere around like the 20, like in this range right here. We're going to get like kind of like a lot of content. Remember, even though this is kind of the GDC EX part, we are really kind of just in like, you know, like the next celebration, right? Like it's like I don't like, just like the 10th anniversary EX part was just kind of like, they just wrote EX part on it. On like a regular celebration. Remember, that's what this is. Like, they kind of just wrote, like, GDC EX part on top of a regular celebration. So this week is just the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan EZA, who, you know, by the way, here, let me, because we got my Twitter right here. Here, of course, is the EZA Gohan, who, by the way, is a stacker. Seems like he'll be, well, actually, I mean, this Gohan's going to be effective in all content, I think, because they set him up with some defensive abilities right away, and then, you know, for the festival, you're able to get a little bit of stacking, which is good. But next week, we're going to see, I think, a huge content drop. Peppy Gal banner, Peppy Gal EZAs, and also new stages, probably the last stages for this Supreme Magnificent Battle right here. Depending upon what these stages look like, I might make another kind of like special update to this. Because right now, like Omega is catered towards most of this content, but I don't think it's just going to stay that way where they have every fight just suited completely to him. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will. If they are, like, it's like I'd have to move him up because he just, the thing with Omega is he's just set up perfectly in all these fights, right? Like, let's look at these two fights right here. Both very tough fights. Kid Trunks is an attack debuffing victim, which means, you know, we run out all these Omegas and we're able to survive Trunks, even though his damage is ludicrous. Once these passive debuffs from Carnival Omega and Super Easy Omega are hitting him, I mean, this kid is not that scary, right? We're able to handle that. And then right here, I mean, Omega, like, it's both int. Omega has type advantage. And remember, the weakness for Omega is that he doesn't guard. That I identify as his weakness. Right, like he could have a better top-level defense if he guarded. But when the whole fight is just int, he is guarding anyway, right? So that's the thing. He's structured well. I'm assuming, now we'll see, again, I could be wrong on this, that the next couple of fights coming, I guess maybe Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, maybe Beast Gohan, maybe Ultimate Gohan, maybe it's just going to be against the LR itself. Who knows exactly what it's going to be. But I'm assuming these fights might be designed more around other of the GDC LR's kits. Like maybe Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you know, maybe more towards like Rose and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Because that would be like, if one of these fights was like very tough, but it was dodge canceling the whole way through or something like that, that would be kind of moved away from like Blue Goku and more towards probably like, again, like Gogeta and Rose, who are just going to be a little bit stronger defensively, like right away, right? So we'll see. But just kind of want to do a follow-up. I did kind of end up just yapping away. I was able to, damn, we're 15 minutes in. I was going to do, I got to do the summon points. I want to just get the extra summon points, now that the discounts have ended on the Gogeta and Omega banner. And I did see some people got kind of like tricked by that. Let me just quickly show this right here at the end. It was this video I did. I might pause to find exactly where it was. But if someone is not paying attention, they'll summon on it expecting there to be a free multi, but there's not a free multi anymore. Yeah, right here. So I'm probably going to do a follow-up to this, because this same thing is also now here for the Rose, for the Omega Shenron and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta banner. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.